It's a clown show. And for the most part, guess who the clown is? Flat earther. For entertaining and enabling that shit. I don't look at the baller.
That is so true.
I don't look at the baller to indict him for that, because that's what ballers do. I look at, well, what's enabling this? Ignorance, wanting to get their feelings and their opinions and show their open-toed sandals, and they shouldn't be out here. Like globe dumpsters, they shouldn't be out here. It's the same scenario. Go back to picking up cans alongside of the road. Supervise. We don't need that out here. We're beyond 2015, 2016.
Yeah, take heart that I share the same sentiment. In fact, I think I've worn my welcome a couple of places by, I mean, cause chocolate, is that not what I'm screaming at the top of my lungs at 24/7? Wasting time, being enablers, jumping on red herrings, yada, yada, yada. That's literally all I do. I argue with flat earthers more than I do ballers.
Yep. Good. You should. Call them out. That's why I was the bad guy. Oh, QE, you're not letting him give us his feelings and show his open-toed sandals. You've lost your way. That's not why we're here. This isn't Dr. Phil. Whatever Jedi mind tricked you into thinking that this was Dr. Phil. Right? The flat earthers have lost their way. I don't know what infiltrated the gray matter up there into thinking, well, let's have a conversation. How do you feel? What's your favorite color? Get the fuck out of here. My God, do I even have to say it? Yes. I'll be the bad guy. Not a problem. Say goodnight to the bad guy. You haven't seen a bad guy like this, let me tell you.
We use words like science, hypothesis, experiment. We use these words as a backbone of a life spent in the fitness center. You use them as a punchline.
You remember I did that a long time ago, right?
More A Few Good Men references. I absolutely love them. They're so good.
I have not the time or the inclination to explain myself to a man who rises and sleeps under the blanket of the
affection I provide,
very freedom
the manner in which I provide it.
Oh my God.
I would rather you just said thank you and went on your way. Either way, I don't give a damn what you think your feelings are. Are we clear?
You want me on that wall. You need me on that wall. That movie's so great, man. Shit.
You know what they try and do over on Discord? What the ballers try to do is create a relationship, a personal relationship with some flat earthers. So then the flat earther doesn't hold them to task as much. And there's more mutual respect. And I do respect you, Tom or Bob or whoever. And I know, and I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. All is absolute, total, and utter horse crap.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't care about whether you think you deserve respect or what feelings you have. You have to earn respect in the world, and that's that.
Yeah. Correct.
But maybe that's because they're going by, remember the article by space.com, right? We told them, you know, it's not about evidence. It's not about the arguments. The problem is feelings and trust. Flat earthers don't trust. So you have to help them build that trust, right? Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that was a shocking article, wasn't it? Don't argue with them about there being Earth curve. Just gain their trust. You're like, my God, this is like instructions to become a cult member.
Yep.
And what was the name of that? How to Debate a Flat Earther.
Yep.
Let me pull that up. Give me a second.
Yeah, go
Gain
ahead.
their trust. Oh, while you're at it, chocolate, save that, put that to the side. And also, fam, tonight, I beg you, tonight, roll with me, fam, to this Killer Priest podcast. Because, and I'll tell you why. Like, you're the most personable person here. Like, your examples are that of real people and real situations. And when you're explaining, a conversation that you had with a baller or explaining something like a conversation that you had at work, like people can relate because while you're telling the story, you're talking about kind of some of the fundamentals that we go over versus like people's rejection over the simplest things. And it's like, I can't do that like you, man. I really, really want you to come on the show, please. Just to do that, just to read the little girl's homework out, just to like, just to talk about the guy at the cooler. Just
As nicely as you just asked me just now, tonight is not going to be cool. I can't do
all
that.
right, all right.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I'm sorry.
Now back to the topic of what Brian was saying. Brian brought up a really good, important point when they talk about when I say they, certain flat earthers have developed this soft underbelly. I don't. It's not a new phenomena. Certain people have it. You got to be nice. Don't raise your voice to them. Let's build some relationship, some trust, so they can grease the skids and piss down your back and tell you it's raining. See, I'm of the, I don't want to say opinion. I'm of the philosophy that if somebody's pissing down my back and tell me it's raining and they're being polite about it, and I all of a sudden turn around and notice that they're pissing down my back, I'm going to rip their pathetic little peckers off. Okay? Sunshine, you got me with your open-toed sandals. Clowns, you're in a problem. Get the heck out of here. You take it over to Dr. Phil, right? And your feelings and your respect. Yeah. Just anytime you hear that, get ready. You're about to get screwed. And it's mainly going to come from flat earthers. The kumbaya flat earthers. Get ready. You're getting screwed. It's coming real quick right after.
I just want to mention that that's who he's talking to is more like the likes of me. But as far as the discussion, like the quote unquote the other side, and I tell them this, like, don't not them, but I tell certain people, don't be a hypocrite. If you're gonna have an argument and you have transgressions, get that out, but don't be a hypocrite, because you can't say, oh, look at their comment section, it's a cesspool, and then I go directly to your live and it's the same thing. Like, just don't do that. Don't act like Huey's the big bad wolf, and you're cursing out ballers all day. Like, it's like, let's keep it real. Like, we're enslaved by the sheep that don't want to move out the way. That's kind of what we're dealing with, and it gets frustrating. And that's a spectrum. Some people are like ready to take people's heads off, and some people are a little more patient. But just don't be a hypocrite about it. And I am a terror sympathizer. I'm sorry.
The worst baller you'll deal with is the baller that starts off, and I'm going to name out someone called Danny Faulkner. This is how he starts every single, what he terms as a conversation, which is really a debate for him. But he wants the flat out to believe he's in a conversation, and they start off by saying, so what brought you to believe that the earth was flat? Right? Straight away, that is a really scummy move, right? Because he's putting the onus on you to try and explain what reality showed you. Do you know what I mean? This is what he's trying to do. It's a really low tactic, and he's acting like some kind of a nice guy. I'm going to say it, I'm sorry for the cursing, but it's a fucking low life. That's a low
Yep.
life tactic. That's what
Yeah,
he is.
snake. He's a snake.
Sounds like projection. Asking you about belief, and they're the ones who have the belief.
Yeah, I'd turn it right back on him. So, what led to the belief with flowers and rose petals all over it of your heliocentric ball-tard spinning space monkey religion, Danny boy? Yeah.
Yeah, because what he wants is for someone to try and be put on the hot spot in the hot seat and trying to personally explain. What are you trying to personally explain? You have experienced your whole life. You've experienced a non-rotating, non-curving Earth. What? You know what I mean? Why would you have a belief about that? You know, but that's what he wants. He wants it to, oh, well, I remember when, and I was thinking, and this, that, and everything. No, Danny, no. What brought me to knowing the Earth is flat is because I know it's measured flat. Now, where's the fucking globe evidence? Stupid cunt. Sorry for the language.
That's a demerit on Brian that he used a swear word. Oh, I know what I would have done. I would say, Danny, define belief. He'd be through with me. It'd be all over real quick. I'd make him look like a dumbass in like 5 seconds, 8 with interruptions, right out of the gate.
I love the irony of the guy we're talking about will tell us that Neil deGrasse Tyson is wrong for the things that he asserts, but he himself, Mr. Danny Faulkner, will invoke or use as a citation a glober named Hillbilly Blue Balls to prove that gas pressure, you should have gas pressure without a container by making a video in which he has gas pressure in a container.
Yeah, that was pathetic.
You gotta love that.
Is Mr. Gumby football field still out here?
You mean Blue Marble Science?
Hillbilly Blue Balls. Hillbilly Blue Balls, the redneck retard, aka the photosynthetic redneck, aka Mr. Gumby football field.
I don't know if he's still about.
Where the hell did that come from?
I only know when these people are about when you guys bring them up, and then next thing you know, you guys are releasing clips on them, and I tend to only ever see them via those clips. So I don't subscribe to Blue Marble. Does anybody here subscribe to Blue Marble Science?
I don't subscribe to any of those idiot ball-tards. Chocolate, you already asked me this question before about the Gumby football field. What the hell, you eating lead paint chips from the 70s?
Nah, 80s.
Remember I told you, you asked me the same thing because you were laughing when I said Mr. Gumby football field about 2 weeks ago. All right? So Mr. Gumby football field, I got this off of Flatzoid when Nathan was involved with, Neil deGrasse Tyson's explanation about the field goal kick. Well, during that presentation, Mr. Photosynthetic Redneck popped the visual up on the screen where he showed a football field and showed that one part of the football field had a tangential speed that was faster than the other part. I looked at it.
Okay.
Remember, yeah, you got it right. So not only is the football field moving, different parts of the football field are moving faster than others. And that's when I brought up the soccer example. When you go out to the soccer field with your kids, you bring, all the parents over and the coaches, and you say, you know what? Not only is this quarter line or the what do they call the center line? Not only is the center line moving, but it's moving faster than where that goal is down there. Right. And I mean, essentially, that's what that's what Hillbilly Blue Balls, the redneck retard, saying, right? Which is absolutely lunatic, but he thinks he's an intellectual. 1 second.
You sneezing?
American Red Cross trying to solicit funds from me. So go ahead. What was your question?
Are you sneezing?
No, the American Red Cross calling me. So that's Mr. Gumby football field.
Gotcha.
That's the level that we're at. Well, that's the level that all you guys know that. We've been there for years. Like I said, it's like shooting pregnant hippos in a fishbowl. The only thing that was more or less intriguing to the audience was when they started to flail, death spiral, just challenging any one of their claims. They go off into the friggin' second grade maturity death spiral. Right, and start appealing to feelings, and you didn't treat me well, and what name did you call me? I don't deserve that. I need to be heard. And look at my open-toed sandal.
What's
Nathan,
the
if you want, I posted that.
What does that mean? Look at my open-toe sandals. Are you saying they're like that's your archetype of a vegan wussy? Is that what you're trying to portray?
Well, somebody didn't listen to the show that I had on Friday, obviously.
That's not what I asked.
Go ahead, brief them, Chocolate.
I gotta give a briefing on the open toe sandal now.
Yeah, so I categorize ether believers as this, hippie cult, with open-toed sandals and really bad breath, singing Kumbaya with their guitars out of chord. Everyone love one another right now, which is a great song, by the way. I think it was the Young Bloods back in the day, but regardless of that, yeah, that sort of motif. Yes.
I see.
What's the chances that
don't
Bob
think-
Nodell wears open-toed sandals? I'd say there's a good chance of that. Let's be honest.
Look, Betty's just
I was
texted
gonna
me
say-
and said, "No, you're not allowed to do that, Brian."
Why aren't I allowed to do that?
I'm just relaying what Betty said. You have to keep it on the
I
subject
am allowed.
matter, not on the individual. It's totally unreasonable. The war must end. Blah 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 blah. Love, Betty.
Well, I love Betty too, but I'm still not. I still am 100% convinced that Bob Nodell wears open-toed sandals.
Wait a second, Nathan with his blah blah blah. Love Betty. That was classic. I got what? Which one is this? Because I got to get that. Hopefully, you didn't get overtalked. Do you want to say that again?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No. Betty's just. I had it relayed to me third hand by John, or I think it was John, saying that he caught it in the neck from Betty, because it had to be, we had to keep it on subject matter and not make it specifically about an individual. And he said that in the live show or in the after show, I forget which. And he said it, and I was like, but the trimmed out clip that I've just done that's called Natural Science for Dummies has literally right at the end of the clip got you directly associating the example that was neutral and non-specific to an individual at least to Jaron. It's you that's associating with it. Now, that's technically out of context because the entire clip has got Adam pulling apart a red herring that Jaron made, and then I make an example of how, no, that's not actually what we're arguing about. We're about proof and how cause and effect's proven with heat and water boiling. And then John straps on to the end how, actually the red herring that Jaron put up is disproven by what Adam said. But it's like just by chance in that edit, it just seems like John's the only person associating it with Jaron.
Wow, that had nothing to do with what I was saying.
Yeah, it did. Betty was talking about that. Betty was saying don't associate it with individuals.
And then you said blah 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 blah. Love Betty.
Yeah, we don't want a war, and we need to keep it on topic and not make it about people. Make it about what we're actually trying to disseminate. In this case, science and the evidence that that method provides, and it's empiricism, and not about being about Bob and Jaron and about whether or not he wears open-toed sandals.
Which I reckon he does.
Okay, that's it. I'm done.
I would put $100 on it that he has a pair of open-toed sandals. Absolutely.
if it goes another day without me expressing that it just so happens that I wore open toe sandals when I met Witsit the other week, I'm gonna boil over. I admit, I freaking wear open toe sandals. What's
I knew
the
it.
deal?
I knew it. Chocolate. He's on the list. Well, he's always been there.
I'm not on that list though. I don't wear open toe sandals.
So you're not.
You're not, but it's a New York, it's a slides thing. You know what I mean? A Nike Tech. You know, it's like it's
Yeah,
a thing.
they make it
I wear
funky
them.
fresh. I get it. Yeah. Still won't do
I
it,
wear
though.
them as well. They're not open toe sandals. That's not what Kiwi's talking about. He's talking about those leather ones with the buckles, the brown leather ones with the buckles. And someone
Exactly.
wears, like, you know, those kind of really
The
light,
Jesus
like
We all know. Yeah,
Yeah.
you got there before me. He just doesn't want to say Jesus sandals, does he?
Well, I wasn't even thinking that. I was just trying to describe the other attire that someone was wearing down would wear. They wear a pair of pants that are like elasticated at the waist, but they're not a tracksuit end. They're not like a track pants. They're like nearly like a pajama end. They're really light and flimsy. And they might be, you know, they might have all these different colors on them. And then they'd have maybe a t-shirt or something with buttons on it, and then they'd have a cardigan, and the cardigan would be well worn. And
You're
you
taking
know
this a
that
little
person.
far there, Brian.
I'm not. I am not. I am not. I know people, and that's how they actually dress, and they're full of shit. Sorry. Unless
See,
that's how
Kiwi,
you dress.
you started with the sandals. Now Brian got him dressed up in the whole outfit.
No shit. Yeah, he's just taking it and running with it, right? He's going off on his own what he thinks it is. We don't care about your opinions, Brian.
No, I literally know people, and have known people over the years, and that's exactly the rest of the clothes they wear with their open-toed sandals.
You could have just said the dude.
Dude, right?
Yeah, the dude.
Yeah, but the dude, he would be allowed, right?
Yeah, the dude abides.
Because the dude abides.
I have to actually make a correction. The other day when I joined the show, it was only after just waking up. I'd been asleep. I joined the show. It was only after starting. The subject of speed of light and all that was on the table, and Nathan asked me a question about it. And I said two things wrong, just out of memory and stupid, being in a bit of a stupor at the time. I said that there was 1,000 microseconds in a second. That's wrong. There was 1 million microseconds in a second. And I said that there 1 AU was a light year, and that was wrong as well. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking just the distance to the sun in the heliocentric model. But the point is that a couple of ballers tried to correct me on. But that's worse again for that Fizeau, what Fizeau claimed to do. Now, he was just trying to match an already existing claim to a speed of light calculation. But the claim then is that some guy back in the 1800s, right, measured like a portion of millions of a second, with like a twirly device, basically. It's like, you're not helping your cause here. Me getting it wrong and you correcting me is not helping your cause. It's like, how many seconds out of that 1 million seconds did he supposedly measure? Find me something that can measure that amount of seconds out of 1 million within a second of time. Like, what's 1 second? 1/1000. That's a second. It's over. So it's a moment. So break that into a million and measure a tiny portion of that. Because the guy Fizeau, he only had a two-way distance of around 10 miles, or slightly less, 9.7 or something. So what I mean, and a light year is like, I think it's, I don't know, 6,000 AUs or something like that, which is 6,000 distances to the heliocentric sun. It's like, and he measured, right, a two-way distance that is less than 10 miles, 10 statute miles. So what's that out of a million? Some guy in the 1800s. He measured nothing. He made up a load of stuff, and he had a twirly device. That's what he had.
Hey, I got a bolt, guys. You guys still around? I got to go.
Where are you going?
Busy day today. I got to go get a haircut. You want to know my whole day? Haircut.
Nah, just put me on the spot.
Yeah, haircut. I got to do some shooting today. That's for sure. It's starting to get nice. It was thunderstorming out this morning. Then I got to go do some volunteer work at the archery shop, and then, just a busy day. Got to take the garbage out. Got to put the dishes away. You know, stuff like that. Important stuff.
Okay, then.
Okay.
Yeah. So take it easy, gentlemen. We'll catch you on the flip side. I think
All right, bro.
for Ball Busters this week, we'll just do like an open panel. We'll just talk about the situation.
An open
Right.
toe panel.
Open toe show. Excellent. We'll bring our
Open toe
sandals.
show. I might title it that. All right,
Yeah.
guys. Have a good one, man. Hang in there. Peace.
Later,
Hey,
man.
See you later.
keep on chewing, man.
Shutting up.
No, you got to keep on chewing, dude. Born on the bayou. All right. Get ready for that one, Nathan. You're gonna hear parts of that in the show you're gonna watch
I
today.
can't wait.
All right, later, guys.
Take it easy.
Peace.
Peace.
You guys are going to hang around for a bit? I'm just playing games.
Yeah. I actually did the maths on that whole Fizeau thing. That guy who was claimed to measure the speed of light. He didn't measure the speed of light. I did the maths before. It took a while to get the maths, like to really find the right method to do them. But it's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. The amount is like he was claiming to measure like 16 parts out of a million of a second. Do you know what I mean? It's like with a twirly device. That's all he had. I don't care what it was. He had a twirly device, a twirly thing that light came through. The twirly oak.
Maybe it was the most precise twirly device ever created.
Yeah. Stop. Such nonsense. The ballers, they always walk into it. You know, they always want to correct you on everything, not even realizing that the correction makes it their whole claim actually even more bizarre. Like,
Is the show still running?
Yeah, show's still running.
yeah.
At the end of the show, I want to talk to you guys about the movie. After the show, I mean.
What about the moon?
Yeah, because you know, my arguments are centered around the moon and the sun. Why? Because I actually don't. There's nothing to argue about the Earth not being a globe. So can't argue that anymore.
Did the moon look a little extra oblate to anybody the other day?
Yo,
Like
Chocolate,
extra.
why are
extra
you saying
oblate?
that? Because
Because I looked at the movie.
somebody
like
was
2
crying
nights
about
ago.
that. I don't want to say crying, but yo, this dude was talking about it all day, and I was like, "Fam, I'm the moon guy." Like, if it was like oblate, I would know. Like, but now you're saying it. He was saying it looked real,
It did,
real,
though,
real
man.
fattish around.
When I got out of my car to walk into my job, bro, I looked at the moon, and that's the first. I was like, "Why does it look all squashed right now? Like it looks crazy." and I tried to take a picture, but because of where the clouds were, just didn't look good. It didn't come out, but I could see it just looked. I know. I was like, okay, whatever
So
you're doing up there.
You're not the only person to share that sentiment. So something must have been visibly different. But that's cool. Yeah, y'all know that there's like a group of like square earthers who thinks like we're still, you know how we're like, oh, you guys are in 2015. Like that's how they feel about the flat earthers who think that the sun goes around the earth in a circle. That's where they're at. I'm not, and I'm not gonna lie. I don't. I'm not a the sun goes around the earth in a circle person. I've never been. Not never been. I was, but I haven't been for some time now. Can I explain that to anyone? Hell no. Does it make sense? Who knows? Maybe not. Maybe you guys will set me straight on that. But nah, I mean, they got a whole little. I don't know, man. I do know that they helped me with the observation of the moon, where like they call them gates, and then essentially the moon is just supposed to rise, ever so slightly over to the right or to the whatever it is. Like when it's coming up, it's not supposed to jump like a significant amount of degrees. Not supposed to. That's not what I mean to say. But what I mean to say is if you're thinking about you being on the earth spinning and what you're looking at the moon as a result of being that, then it doesn't make sense that the moon would suddenly appear in a place that you didn't expect it to because of that rotation. Unless there was some kind of explanation within the movement of the Earth's whatever. I don't know. But anyway, I'll talk to y'all about it later.
Yeah, the moon is very strange. I know that I heard about that Gates thing as well. That's a kind of an old thing, I think, the Gates thing, where it's like it turns up in places that it kind of shouldn't be, if you know what I mean. Is that what you're saying?
Right, and again, I don't. It is where it is for me, but for them, it shouldn't be there because I live on a ball. Blah 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 blah. Unreasonable. What? Unreasonable.
Yeah, I got another reason.
I'm picking up a burrito for someone named Unreasonable.
Yeah, the moon's crazy. I agree with that. Whatever it is. Then again, so is the sun.
Did you see the latest BLMSB 69 video? Have you seen
No.
that about the sun?
No.
It's absolutely.
Nope.
It's a collection of observations of the sun from the ground and from airplanes, showing the sun being in the center of cloud banks and stuff like that, where the horizon is way behind the sun. It's just all this crazy stuff where it shows clouds. Now, some of it could be just the sun shining through the clouds, but some of it is just like, the sun is. You can literally see the sun is right there with, now whatever the sun is, I don't know what is there. It's just a thing. That a bright thing is right there in the center of a load of clouds, with clouds to the left, right, front, back of it for a big distance.
Yeah, I've been saying for a long time, like obviously that's an optical illusion, and then one day I realized that's the same argument that they give me when they say the sun is being lit by the moon is being lit by the sun, but it appears to be off by a few degrees because of an optical illusion. So I'm like, I'm only saying it's an optical illusion because number one, I don't know what it is, and number two, I've reasoned based on my understanding of the circling sun. This is why I'm saying this. But in actuality, it looks exactly what you described, and I just I don't know. I'm not saying I most definitely am definitely biased against it being some physical orb sitting in the clouds. But that's what it looks like. That's what's great.
I'll find a video and I'll share it in Master D or whatever. It's very good.
I really can't think of a reason it would look like that, you know?
Well, we certainly can't be spinning around something, orbiting around something that you're viewing from an airplane sitting in the middle of a cloud bank. How are we orbiting around that? You know what I mean? It's crazy. Like, you know, I came out of my house, right? Listen to this. I came out of my house just about the moon. Came out of my house, drove to the end of the road, turned right. That means I'm basically looking east, right? The moon was off over, it would be northeast of me, right? There was a wall that I was looking over, and the moon was over northeast of me. I get down to a junction, and I turn due south, right? And I go down the road, and then I turn east again, because it's exactly east again I'm going, right? So I'm going east, south, and then east again. When I was going east again, the moon was southeast of me. And then it came into the center. No, sorry, it was directly east of me, and then it ended up being southeast of me. It was northeast of me, then it went east of me, then it went southeast of me. I mean, that's not parallax, if you know what I mean. That's not what parallax is. Parallax doesn't explain that. It's like it was over to my left, it was in front of me, then it was to my right, all within 7 minutes of driving. And I went east, south, east, because I know exactly what direction these roads are pointing. How do you explain that to someone? How do you tell someone, I know what that is? How do you do that?
I don't know, man. I know what you mean, though. I've seen the moon do crazy jumps where it was in one spot in this minute, and then a few minutes later, not like a few hours, a few minutes later, it's in a spot that it really could not be in. And I'm like, am I crazy? Did it just, what the hell just happened? I went inside to fill my drink. I come back outside, it's in a different spot. Like, not like just moved a little bit, it moved a lot. It's crazy, man. Whatever the hell that
Yeah.
thing is, man.
Yeah, I think another thing is, now correct me if I'm wrong on this, but let's just say we use celestial navigation, and I get let's just say I get a 45-degree angle to the sun, to the lower limb of the sun, 45-degree angle, right? That means its GP point directly below it on the Earth is 2,700 nautical miles away from me, right? Whatever that is in stature. Now, if I get a 45-degree angle to a star, let's just say, right? Now, it could be a daytime star. Sometimes I see some stars not in the daytime, or some lights in the sky. If I get a 45-degree angle to that, at the opposite side of it, let's just say, of my boat, then that means that the GP point of that is 2,700 nautical miles away from me. So how can the sun be closer to us than the stars? Now, correct me if it's just I'm not thinking this out straight or not. But if that star, like I can get the same angle to two different objects that are at different distances to me, right? But they would have to be at different distances to me. So I can take an angle to a chair, two identical chairs, but one further or closer or whatever, it depends on where I am, or two objects, let's say just not chairs, maybe just two objects. So I can get an angle to one building and an angle to another building. And they can both be 45 degrees. But the distances between the buildings might be different. Depends on where I am. But how do I get a 45-degree angle to two things and they be at different distances from me? Because if the star is further, how do we get, you know what I mean? How does this GP, how can it have a GP point which is straight below it? That's 2,700 nautical miles from me. The same as the sun. If the star is further, its GP point would have to be different. I'm not giving a distance I'm not giving a sky distance to them, a celestial distance to them. I'm saying, how can they both give me a GP point that's directly below them? You know, because how can they do that? Maybe I'm missing something here, but how can they do that and be at different distances? It means they have no distance, if you understand what I mean. Because people can say you can see the sun move in front of things, and that are like with daytime stars and different things. I'm not sure. I think that does happen. I'm 100% sure. But how can that happen? How can they be at different distances from my location? Like heliocentrism claim, right? How can they be at different distances if I can get the same? Now I understand how heliocentrism explain it because they're on a curved surface. But if I'm getting a GP point which is directly below those things, and they have the same angle to them, how can they be at a different distance from me? Maybe I'll get corrected for being stupid. I don't know.
See, like I was trying to express in Geos, because there was like an idea being proposed or a question being asked, and the ballers were like, "Show me, prove it." Oh, so you don't have anything? And as a defense, we want to say, let me know if I'm being like. We all came out here because we had questions. So it's like, it's okay to have questions. Like it's like it's not okay for them to harass us the way they've been. Simply because literally, like we've had questions, and then you have these people who are like, "Oh, believe," it's like this forceful. They want you to believe what they believe, and if you don't, well, then they're like, "No offense, but obviously you're retarded or something."
Sound
And
like
then they
Democrats.
and then they want to turn around and talk about how mean we are. But and it's like, what? By the way, mic check, is my mic good? Because I got finally a connection mic, not a Bluetooth. Well,
Yeah,
the wired mic.
What was that?
Who's doing a mic check?
Yeah, just got a new wired mic that I wanted to know if it sounded okay today.
I just shared that new BLMSB 69 Sun video in the Master D.
Okay, thank you.
No worries.
I'm not watching it now, by the way. I will definitely get around to watching QE's thing, though, at some point.
I gotta drop, fellas. My phone's dying. I will catch you guys.
See you later, chocolate.
It's clear.
Cheers, chocolate.
All right.
Later, guys.
And I'm gonna go assert my dominance over at one of these servers, I guess.
Alrighty then.
Okay.
Oh, Neil. Oh man, I got a video for you. It wouldn't post, but remind me about it later. It's hilarious.
He's not here. Hey,
Oh, all right.
yeah, I'm going to go as well, Nathan, and everyone. Sorry for causing earlier
That's all right.
on the show. I'm getting a bit carried away.
It's all good.
Yeah, I have stuff to do myself, so I better go. Talk to you later. Bye.